Hey guys, it's Laura and Greg. We are driving to the hospital to see our friend Tammy, and this is our, what I used to call it couples car therapy, but it's really not couples therapy. It's mainly just Dear Diary. I'm gonna call it today Dear Diary. Man, we've had a week, as a lot of you have. We did a video on Tuesday, not knowing what this week would entail, what all would unfold. We did a video and we were talking about the blows of life, like when you feel that the blows keep coming, what do you do? How do you handle it? And boy, did God ever test what we said, because in that video we said, when the blows keep coming, we lean into God, we worship, we talk to God. He tested that this week. Luckily, we did exactly what we spoke about in that video. Today, I'm just gonna talk about the goodness of God. I wasn't gonna make one. I told Greg, I asked Greg, I said, do you want to make a video? Because on the way to church, I told him, okay, we're making a video after church. I was all gung-ho. And then as time went on, I'm like, I don't want to make a video. I don't want to. And then I asked Greg, he didn't want to make one. And then as we're driving to the hospital in Dallas to see Tammy, I don't know, God just kept impressing upon me that I need to make a video and talk about His goodness, the goodness of God. Back in 2021, our worlds were shattered. My entire life, I have lived every situation that has been thrown our way, my way. I'm speaking on behalf of myself right now. Every situation that has been thrown my way, I have always said, it is what it is. God has a bigger plan. God knows what He's doing, and we will get through this. And I've always lived by that until 2021. 2021 was a year full of nothing but heartache and what I call tragedy for us. The family, as we knew it, completely fell apart. It was broken, and it still hasn't been repaired. We lost kids, we lost grandkids, not to death. It felt like a death. I feel like I'm still grieving that loss. I'm grieving people who are still alive. We lost our family. Then Brianna, she went on vacation with her now husband, Jimmy. She got really, really sick, had to be transferred from hospital to hospital, states away. We were told so many things. We were told that, the prognosis is not good. We were told she had sepsis, however you say that. We were told all kinds of things. In our minds, we were thinking, oh my God, she may not make it. We pack up, we go to this, state to try to find her. She's in the hospital. She makes it out of that. Then that same year, Taylor's pregnant with our grandson, Anthem. She gets really, really sick and has to be hospitalized multiple times. Again, we're wondering, oh my God, is she gonna make it? Is our grandson gonna make it? What's happening? Why is all of this happening to us? And I'm gonna be very, very real and raw with you. I was mad. I was so mad at God that I turned on God. I turned against God for that whole year. I could not understand how He had given me all these situations in life. Why? But then He goes as far as to rip my family from me. The ones who I love the most, He took from me. What kind of loving God would do that? So then, 2022, at the end of 2021, I had another stroke. 2022, beginning, I had another stroke. Then I had heart surgery. Then I woke up from heart surgery, and 2 days later was hit with the most excruciating anxiety and depression I've ever felt in my entire life. Again, I am mad. I am mad at God. Why? Why are you doing this to me? So I turned to drinking. And I just, gotta be honest, I became an alcoholic. I sought refuge and therapy and solace in alcohol. I didn't want to go to church. If Greg talked about God, I would get mad. If he talked about going to church, I'd get mad. I refused. I didn't want to have anything to do with God. Because in my mind, Though throughout my entire life, I had never turned on God, never been mad at God for the situations that were brought my way. Now I allowed myself to be broken. I didn't allow myself to bend. I allowed myself to be uprooted and broken. All because of situations that were happening in my life. I never at the time took the time to look back over my life and look at all the situations that he had brought me through, that he had helped me overcome, that, through those situations I had become stronger and stronger within myself and within my faith in him. I wasn't looking at any of that at this time. I was just mad. So 2022, I lived a very, very reckless, careless life. Like I said, became an alcoholic. Greg, I'm only speaking for myself. But we drank an incredibly amount to cope. That was our coping mechanism. December 2022, God started, it was December. God started, slowly working on me. January, it was like I had an awakening, and I'm like, okay, something in my life has to change, or I am never going to recover for this. So, March, God told me, at first I started praying, I started meditating, I started actually trying to seek him again, trying to understand. And probably, I want to say March, he told me very, very vividly to go make a war room. We had this pool shack out in the backyard that we would go play darts in, go drink beer in, hang out. He told me, go make a war room and do it now. I was like, okay. So I didn't know what the plan was, didn't know why I was doing it. My family thought I was freaking crazy because I am frantically out there throwing crap out of this room, bringing stuff in the room. I'm telling them to do this, do that, because this room has to be ready. I don't know why, but it has to be ready. I now know why. In my war room, I started going, all the time. I would pray, I would meditate. God started giving me these visions of a wilderness. I was running in my meditation. I was running through a forest, and I was frantically running. I was scared. I felt fear as I was running, and I couldn't figure out why. And then at the end of the forest, it would always open up to a stream, and I would see a stream. I would put my feet in the water, and the cold water would just rush over me, and I would get a peaceful feeling. I never understood why I was getting these visions until recently, when all of these things started happening and all of these trials started coming, and God reminded me again Wednesday as Tammy was going into surgery about the wilderness that he told me about. I opened my Bible, and there it was. There was a section on the wilderness and how God will allow you to go through the wilderness. He may lead you to the wilderness, but he never leaves you alone in the wilderness. He is always with you in the wilderness. And a lot of times we're taken to the wilderness to remove every other distraction from our lives so that we can be drawn closer to him. So as I'm reading all of this, I'm thinking back over the last 2 years of our lives, and I'm thinking of everything that we lost, everything that was removed. And I'm thinking, okay, we were in a wilderness. We're in a wilderness now. But God was always with us through that wilderness. He always led us through the wilderness, and there was a purpose for the wilderness. We are going to be stronger because of it, and our testimony is going to help other people. So I mainly just wanted to tell you that if you guys are in a wilderness, you've got to remember the goodness of God and how he has brought you through all the other wildernesses of your life. He has never left you. He's never forsaken you, and he never will. And I know that I'm just speaking on behalf of myself, and Greg's already told me he's not going to talk today, but I'm going to ask him if he has anything to say anyways. Do you have anything to add on to this before I close?
No, we don't see the goodness of God, but he works for the good for those that believe in him. So you just have to trust him. That his plans are not our plans, but he knows what's best, and he does what is best for us. So
his thoughts are not our thoughts. Our thoughts are not his thoughts, thank God. His ways are not our ways. Our ways are not his ways, thank God. But he always pulls us through. I have these things that I call spiritual markers, where I'm looking back over my life and I'm seeing all of the different markers that he's brought me through, and I'm very thankful for that. So yes, we've had a lot of trials, a lot of ups and downs this week, but guess what? We're still standing, and God's goodness is still true today as it was many, many years ago. So I hope this video brings you just a little bit of encouragement. And if you're going through a wilderness, remember who's holding your hand through that wilderness. If you need help, if you need someone to talk to, reach out to me, reach out to Greg. We'll be glad to help you. Hope you guys have a great day. Happy Sunday, and hope you have a blessed week.